Hey guys, welcome to my everyday makeup drawer. This is going to be for the month of November. I have two system of drawers. This side here I use for my everyday makeup, and this side over here is everything that I am still testing. It's grown quite a bit because I've had some advent calendars and some beauty set unboxings, but I really like to go through each of these products with you guys, replenish this drawer. I do a little bit of decluttering based on the stuff that I tested for the previous month, and also restock some of the stuff that I'm testing and shop my stash for some more stuff that I want to put into everyday makeup rotation. I did move some of this stuff out already, so it's kind of on the lighter side, although there were things in here that I kept just so that we could talk about. So there was a little bit of continuity from the previous month. So I usually start with this side, the makeup that I'm testing, to go through each of those items with you guys and replenish this set of drawers. So let's do that first. So you guys, let's start up here on all the lip products and mascaras and other odds and ends that I keep. I have had a bunch of stuff from MCO Beauty. Just a bunch of minis that I got in the advent calendar unboxing that's probably not even up yet. I mean, I'll just kind of go through these with you guys. I got the glowy lip balm, which I think is a dupe for the Laneige. I got the makeup balm, which I don't really know what this is a dupe for. Then this is a Dream lip tint, which I think is like a dupe for something. I'm not sure, maybe the Sephora lip tints or lip oils, or even maybe the Rare Beauty one. And then you guys know what this is duping. It's a lip oil. And then you know what this is duping, the Charlotte Tilbury lip cheat lip liners, and then just a regular eyeliner. I don't know what this is duping, if anything, but it was in there. So this is all the stuff that I got from that advent calendar that's up here. More stuff from beauty sets, and most of these I put in here because I haven't tested them before. They're all like new products to me, so I wanted to give them a go. And plus I like to decide if I like them and whether or not they're gonna stay in my collection. I got this really tiny mini of the Anastasia Brow Wiz, and I don't really use brow gels very often, but I thought that I would give it a go. I did test the one that I got from MCO Beauty already, and it was like halfway decent. I don't know if I'm going to use it on a regular basis, but I thought I would give it a shot because I really have never used a good one before. And then a little mini primer from RMS Beauty. I think this is a good time of year to test this out too. It's the Re-Evolve Radiance Locking Primer because it's getting a little bit drier and windy. And then two mascaras I got in the Macy's advent calendar. The Monsieur Big from Lancome I have used before, so I do know that I like it, but I thought I would give it a go again. Maybe I'd want to buy the full size. And then the Bad Gal Bang mascara from Benefit I've never tried, so those are two I can test out. And then the Stila Stay All Day Waterproof Liquid Eyeliner. I have never tried this, so I wanted to give this a go too. Oh, this is another one from MCO Beauty, and I think this is duping like maybe the Kaja, or I don't know, maybe Benefit, the Hot Lip Plump. So I want to try that too. And then I got two tiny little testers from Tarte, the Maracuja Juicy Lip, which I have many of these in my collection, but I figured that I would try this. I don't know if I've tried this shade before. It's in Rose. I might even have this like in the full size. I'm not entirely sure, but I don't know if I've tried this shade before. This is the Lip Plump. I don't know if I've tried the plump one either. And this one is in Primrose. So keeping these up here also. And finally, for lip products, I've received this in PR from Merit. It's one of the signature lips. I have several in my collection, but I got another shade, and I think this looks delish. This one is in the shade Fashion, like perfect for fall. It's really a color that I like. It's a formula that I really enjoy too. So I'm putting this up here to test the shade mostly because I have tried the formula before. Now the stuff over here, this Gucci, I did declutter. It's a liquid highlighter. They only sell this on their website. It's in the shade Gold, and it only came in one shade. And I had decluttered this before, or had like kept it in reference because I really didn't like the shade. Not that the formula was bad, but it was kind of like sheer. I didn't love that shade on me. But then when I did my highlighter and face palette declutter, I thought maybe I really do like this. Let me give it another shot. So that's kind of why it wound up back in here, and I used it again. It's still really the same thing. I don't love the shade, and it's a little bit too sheer. Like the shade is not gold, it's kind of peach. I don't know, I usually like a peach highlighter, but for whatever reason, I just don't like this color on me. So this one I'm going to fully declutter. I don't think I need to keep it in reference. So I'm just gonna pass it along to my sister. And then this I was testing. This is the new Dior Stick Foundation, and I have used it once already, but that's it. I really do like to get my thoughts on it, like using it at least 2 or 3 times. So this needs to stay up here. I have mine in the shade 1N, which is what I used to get in the concealer. So I think this is like a perfect shade on me. And so far, like the one time that I used it, I did think it was pretty. It was late at night when I was putting it on. I do not have my mind wrapped around that. So that one will stay up here. As far as eye products, I only have 2 singles here. I have the 2 Fine as Fleck eyeshadows from e.l.f. I got 2 shades. I did do a video testing these, and that was the only time that I used it. So I have Straight Fire is this kind of purpley shade. You guys will have to watch that video to see my thoughts on this. And then Champagne Showers is this one right here. They're okay. This one is definitely better, the Straight Fire, more so than the Champagne one, because it just shows up more. It just has a better base in general. All right, moving on down, this is where I keep my blush and bronzer and highlighters that I'm testing. This hasn't really changed too much since last month. I used a bunch of blush from the second drawer, but ignored a lot of these because these were all orange shades, and I was pretty much reaching for like pink blushes when I was even wearing makeup in October. There's so many days I just didn't even wear it. The only one I really did get to test was the Petal Pop from AOA Studio, which has cream and then a powder on the other side. And this is actually really nice. It's probably the reason I was reaching for it, is because I really enjoyed it when I was testing it. But all of these need to stay in here. So this is the Morphe Hot Shots liquid blush. Then I have one from Ensley Rain that's from the Flutter collection. I have one of the serum blushes from ABH. I have another liquid one from AOA Studio. And then I have a powder one from AOA Studio from my AOA Studio haul. And then I did pull in some more blush because I realized all I had was orange blush, and so I wanted some other colors. So I pulled in these 2. They're from AOA Studio also, but they're Lumi Radiant blushes. And I picked up 2 shades from the website. Golden Apricot, which is this one. These look stunning, you guys. They are like shimmery and delicious looking, and they were a full $1. I just dropped it. That one is in So Close, but it's a little bit more pink. And then I pulled in my Nude Sticks Stacks, and I got 2 shades here too. So I got one that's a little bit more pink in Love and Roses, and then this one that's a little bit more nude. Yeah, barely nude. And then I also pulled in the new Chanel Cream Blush, which is in the shade Rose Radiant. So to give me a little bit of pink options for my blush. Then I also have this little mini right here from MCO Beauty. It's the Super Glow Bronzing Drops, and it's obviously duping the Drunk Elephant Bronzing Drops. This one doesn't have a shade, it's just bronze. Like, I don't know if they came out with more shades in this line or not. This came in the advent calendar. It's the only bronzer that I have to test because I haven't been purchasing new ones, so I did go ahead and just put this in here right away. I think though, I'm gonna add some more to this because I might as well like load myself up with options. I was trying to do it by first in, first out method, which keeps me from using products that I just got and using some of the ones that I had for several months. But I usually go through and replenish this anyway, like at least a little bit, not replenish, but like add more to it so that I have options. Like I'm not just grabbing for what's there. So far I've been doing that. It's been prohibiting me from grabbing this section because they're all orange blush. But I suppose it doesn't really matter. So let's just go ahead and add some more to this from the bin that I have to my right. I think I can just add everything that's in this bin right here. It's quite a bit, but we might as well because I have 2 of these bins. So the first one that I have here is the Persona blush, and I picked this one up in the shade Georgia, which is also a peachy shade. I did buy this used, so it's not brand new, but I've been wanting to try the Persona powder blush formula, also the stick formula, which I haven't picked up yet, but I guess I do intend to at some point. But I want to throw this one in here. This one is a little bit older. This one in the Ravi Beauty blush. This is the Singe Beauty Silk blush, and this one is in something rhubarb, riveting rhubarb, which I think is supposed to be like a pink shade. So it'll give me a little bit of a pink option, but it's kind of peachy too, corally. And then here is the Ravi Beauty one, which is a warmer pink shade. And this one is in the shade Paradise. I'll throw this one in also. It's really starting to stack up in this drawer. Okay. Then I have 2 Moira Beauty blushes. These are called the Soft Blush Bombs, and they're like perfect dupes for the Merit. Maybe even a little bit more pigmented. And I picked up 2 shades in this too. This is Talk to Me, which is a more pinky shade. There it is right there. I wouldn't say it's like mauve, but it's definitely pink. And the other one is a little bit more peach, which is right here. And this one is in Dreamer. Oh, these are so good. Quite honestly, I do enjoy them more than the Merit because they just have more pigment. But speaking of Merit, I got this in PR as well, and I got to pick out another shade. So I picked out Cheeky. I don't know why I picked out Cheeky. I have Beverly Hills, but I've been loving like plum and purple blushes lately, so maybe that's what it was. I actually think I'm gonna like this. It's like pink red. I've already swatched it, so I'll just get rid of the box now. And this drawer is kind of loaded up, so I'm gonna put it back. But I'm going to take this drawer out and add some more to it. I have the Cheek Blush Rush from About Face. This is a new release. This one is in the shade Starting Line. Here it is swatched here. I kind of didn't like this because it was a little bit on the drier side, and this doe foot applicator is so freaking small. It wasn't picking up a ton of product. And it's not a blush that I feel like I can draw onto my cheeks because it is drier and so it dries down too quickly. It really needs to be applied with a fluffy brush, I think. Oh, and then I also picked up another super blush from Persona in a different shade. I got it in Caramel. So these are the 2 popular shades, I guess. The 2 most popular shades. And this one was new, and I also did buy it from Mercari. I'm starting to like really love Mercari for products because this is new and I got it for less than half off. So anyway, it's a good way to pass along stuff that you're not using and a good way to test things that have been on my like I wish to test list. So this is another pinky option. Looks delish. Hello. And then finally, this is also a new release. It's the Cheek Kiss from Milani, and this one is in Cafe. We'll throw this one in, and I think that completes this drawer as well. So I'm stocked up on blush, and that's not even all of the blush that I have. I still have other ones that I've picked up from Mercari, some new releases. I got a new shade in the Hourglass liquid blush because I love the formula. I just didn't love the shade Envision that I had. So I've got other options. I've got to slow down on buying blush, that's for dang sure. My power literally just went out. I just heard something pop. Not kidding. Okay, be back soon. Okay, we're back. It's like an hour and 40 minutes later. I guess the transformer blew and we had to call the power company and they just came out here. So that was good. They responded quickly. I don't know where I was, but anyway, this is the only bronzer that I have. And I think I was saying like, I don't think this comes in other shades. It's just in bronze. I really don't even know where I left off at this point. So I'm going to put this back in these drawers, and I have one highlighter. I did get this from Mercari because this is a discontinued product, but I've always had my eye on this. It's the Laura Geller Baked Gelato Swirl Illuminator, and this one is in Diamond Dust. I have to say, after getting it, I wasn't like as enthralled with the color as I thought I would be. You know, these pictures of this product have always looked super delicious, and so I've always wanted to try it. The reason I kind of hunted it down, but it's shifty, and I'm not really into a shifty highlight. It's just not something that I'm normally into, and maybe I would have liked like a deeper shade, like a gold shade. I don't know. I guess I just thought this was going to be icier, but I haven't put it on my cheeks yet, so that still stays in there. And that is it for all of the products that I'm testing, even though it's quite a bit. So let's move over to this system of drawers now of my everyday makeup. I have repositioned the camera, so there's not a lot up here, and some of the stuff needs to be flushed out. This is a Marc Jacobs lip gloss that I've had up here for so long because I'm still trying to like pan it, but it's my favorite lip gloss. And then I had the Say Slip Tint Concealer in the shade 3 in my everyday makeup because I was pretty much testing this to see if I liked it because I couldn't remember, even though I have done a speed reviews on this, and I actually do really like this. This is a concealer that I like, and I haven't really enjoyed any other kind of real complexion products from Say. But this one I do like, and it's one of the few products that doesn't leak oil all over the place. Like all my other Say products do. The concealer, the foundation, the bronzer, the blushes, they all leak oil on me. This is the only one. So I've tested this quite a bit, and I do want to keep it, so we're going to put this back. And then I do have the setting spray that I have in my project pan, the Catrice Prime and Fine. I haven't used it really since my last everyday makeup drawer, so this is going to stay. I got two minis here that I got in one of the advent calendars, you guys. I can't even remember which one, or maybe it was a beauty set. It's the mini of the Photo Finish primer from Smashbox. I kind of have it in here as my everyday makeup because this is not like a new product to me. I have used this before, so I just thought I'd give it another go. And then the teeny tiny MAC Fix Plus, and I've used this before too, so again, it's not a new product, but since this one is almost done, I just figured that we'd add another one. This one from Charlotte Tilbury used to be my absolute favorite foundation, the Airbrush Flawless Finish Foundation in the shade 3. The thing is, when the Charlotte Tilbury complexion products get a little bit older, they tend to oxidize on me. So I was noticing this one was getting a little bit dark, so I was testing it again. I feel like I have used quite a bit of this, even though it kind of doesn't look like it in the glass jar. But there's no way that this is like still full as many times as I have used this foundation. But it was on the chopping block. I was trying to decide if it got too dark, if I wanted to keep it, if it was still one of my favorites, and it is. So this one is gonna stay, but it's gonna go back in the drawer. I don't usually pull in foundations and concealers because I just grab for whatever I feel like that day. And especially my concealers, because I will pair them with the foundation that I'm wearing. And the foundation I pull out based on what I'm looking for that day, what kind of finish, but the concealer has to kind of match the foundation. And my foundations kind of range all over the place, so my concealers do too. I have some that are a little bit darker and some that are a little bit lighter, so I just reach for what I want. I don't want to pull out any unless I'm doing like a chopping block style. What I do have in here is two primers that I pulled out from Shop My Stash from last month. I had the Secure the Sweat from one size, and then the Milk Makeup, I think this is a Pore Eclipse primer. This is just a mini, and I didn't even get to use this at all, but I tested this. This was basically a chopping block item because this doesn't do anything for me, or at least that's what I was remembering. So I retested it again, same thing. I just don't find that this particular primer blocks my sweat, secures my makeup. It's supposed to be dry till dawn, so you're supposed to like have waterproof to your foundation. And in Florida, like it's gonna test that. I'm not jumping in the pool with this on or anything, but I'm testing it against like how sweaty I'm getting and whether or not my makeup can withstand how much sweat I'm producing from the humidity here. This doesn't do anything for me. This is not a product that I see making a difference. So this one I'm actually going to declutter because I don't use primers unless they actually do something, like noticeably. So my primer collection is pretty slim. So this I'm going to declutter along with the Gucci, and I think that's it. Because I pulled out the Smashbox, I have the RMS hydrating primer, illuminating primer, and then the Pore Eclipse from Milk that I didn't even get to use. I'm not going to pull out any more primers. Now for the blush for my everyday makeup drawer, this literally has not changed since I started this like 6 months ago. It's the Honest Beauty cream blush, and then the Buxom blush, and I think this one is in Dolly. Yes. And I have not even used these because, as you saw, I have so many blush. So I don't even want to talk about it. Let's just move on. All right, as far as bronzers, this is definitely an area I've been shopping my stash pretty frequently to try and decide whether or not there are bronzers in here that are too warm that I want to get rid of. And I've been doing such a good job at retesting them. I've been doing the same thing with highlighters and powders pretty frequently too. So I feel good about the progress that I've been making. So I'm mostly going to be shopping my stash for those items. So the first one that I want to talk about is from Victoria Beckham. It's the Bronzing and Contour Brick in 01. This kind of started to hard pan, and I've always been a critic of this side just being too light, but this side being really nice and this side even being a little bit warm. But I retested it to decide whether or not I want it to stay or go, and I actually really do like this. I like how light it is. So I'm going to hold on to this one, but it's going to go back because I used it a ton. This one here is the blush and bronzer duo from the Balm. You guys will see this at every freaking video. It's still in my project pan, but because I've been testing so many bronzers lately, I haven't been reaching for it all that much, but it stays indefinitely. Then I also pulled out the Tom Ford bronzer, and this one is in the shade 02 Terra, to decide whether or not this was too warm and or like the hard panning that seems to be happening was preventing it from working. It just got a little bit bumpy. So I don't think it's an expired product, but I actually really do like this. It's a little bit deep, but it's nice and glowy. It does have a little bit of warmth in it, but I'm willing to tolerate it because it's actually a much nicer warm tone bronzer than like straight orange. You know, it has a little bit of real neutrality to it in addition to being kind of warm. So this one I got to use too quite a bit, so I feel good about it. It goes back. The other one that I have here was a trio from Ulta. It's the Cheek Squad, and I love the bronzer in here, so I mostly use this. It's just such a beautiful bronzer. It's so perfect. It's really just nice and like a little bit dewy, but it's a perfect shade. It's very neutral. It also comes with a cream highlight in it that I really don't like. I don't love cream highlights in general, but I don't like the way that looks. It's very light, it's kind of sticky, and it doesn't show up too much. And then it comes with a cream blush, and I think I do really like the cream blush. Originally, it was a little bit more pink than I was reaching for, but this is a shade that I'm reaching for a lot recently, or a lot lately. So I used the bronzer a ton. I was grabbing for this all the time, but I never got to reach for the blush. And I actually do want to test this blush out again. So probably the next time like I do my makeup for myself or whatever, I'll use the bronzer and the blush. I just want to use the blush a little bit more. So I'm not going to put this one back. I am going to keep it here. And the very last one is from Guerlain. This is kind of a bronzer blush type product. You kind of swirl it all together and it's an all-in-one cheek product. It kind of started to like hard pan a little, so I did scrape it. It's pretty warm though, because it has like the pink in it, but also the brown tones are pretty warm. So I was going to test this as an all-in-one cheek product shade, not maybe necessarily just a bronzer, but I did not get to use this because I was testing the other ones so much. So this does need to be replenished with more bronzer products so I can keep testing them in my chopping block. So we'll put this back. We'll shop my stash for that. And then on to highlighters. I had two highlighters here and basically still the same thing. I was blocking these ones to see whether or not I wanted them to stay in my collection. So I had the L'Oreal Infallible in the shade Champagne Glow. And I have thought about decluttering this several times. It did break on me when it shipped from Ulta. Actually, Ulta does a pretty good job. Usually the stuff doesn't come broken, like way better than Sephora. But this is just such a beautiful shade. I'm definitely going to hold on to this. It was tested and I like it, so I'm going to keep it, but I'm going to put it back so we can replenish it. Then the other one that I had that was also chopping blocked was from Melt. This is the Digital Dust Highlighter in Stargazer, and I think I've chopping blocked this before too. It's not a bad highlighter. It's kind of like peachy, and I do like peachy highlighters. There's really nothing wrong with this. I have so many in my collection that I don't feel like I need to hold on to this. It's just not as light reflective. Even though it's peach, this is a very similar color but icier. So I don't need this. I'm going to actually pass this along. I'm going to declutter this and give it to my sister. So that drawer needs to be replenished as well. And then the final drawer here is my powders. So I was testing a bunch of new powders, plus this one is in my project pan. So I was testing the Laura Mercier pressed powder. This is actually like a translucent, luminous perfecting powder. It's not that luminous though. It's like slightly luminous, but like once it gets to the face, it's not like overly glowy. It's actually just really nice and kind of perfecting. I just wanted to see, was it too glowy based on memory, and should I get rid of it? Because I also have the one from Hourglass, but I do really like this and I use this quite a bit in October. So this one I am going to hold on to, but I want to move in a different pressed powder. Even though right now, you know, it's a little bit drier outside because it started to cool down and the humidity's dropped, which is fabulous. I feel like this is something that I would reach for right about now, but I still want to rotate my powders. So I am going to put it back. This one from Beauty Bakery is in my project pan, and there's probably about half left in that sucker. It's the Flower Better Not Bitter, and it's so good, so good for really mattifying and locking me down for the majority of the day. But this one stays. I don't know where I was going with that. And then this one from Moira Beauty is the pink powder. It's the loose setting powder in 08 Pink. And I have another pink powder. It is from One Size. And I wanted to pull this one in to compare it against the one from One Size, because I'm not somebody who grabs for pink powders all that often. Pink powders are great for brightening, but I really like a powder that I can just put all over the face. So I was trying to decide whether I liked this one over the one from One Size that I tested last month, and this one is so much better. This locks my makeup down more. It is brightening. I see a difference. I love this actually. I honestly was on the fence about it before I retested it. I use this a bunch though. It's gonna go back. I can't even open it because I took out the sifter. Not that the holes aren't big, it's just I hate sifters. So I'll put this with this, but this is gonna go back and we're gonna declutter the one from One Size. So you guys will see that in just a bit. The very last one that I have here, I don't even know if Supergoop still makes. It's the Invisible Setting Powder. It's 100% mineral powder, and it comes with a dispenser that's a brush. And so you kind of like turn it over, you tap it, the product comes off, and it's a SPF powder. It's actually really nice. It mattifies me pretty well. I just can't stand this component. You can actually take this off and the powder is just in this little container. So what I was thinking is once I empty a powder, I would like to take this out and move it into that so I don't have to use this brush, because I actually don't love the brush to apply my powder. And I could just stick my puff in here, but I'd rather transport this to a different packaging like this to be able to get the product out. So for now I am going to put this back, but I'm going to hold on to it. The very last thing here that I keep forgetting is something else I got in a Macy's set. It's the primer from Tom Ford. I don't know what else it's called, but it's just a little packet, but I still wanted to try it because why the heck not? So I'm going to put this up here, I think, might as well. Okay, let's go into the Shop My Stash portion. All we're gonna grab today is bronzers, highlighters, and more powders. Okay, I'm very sorry for the angle right here, but this drawer is right up against the wall, so it's really hard for me to get to. I do have some products in here, and it does go back here, that I want to put into, again, just a rotation of a chopping block, because I don't feel like I finished every single thing. I've done a lot, but I haven't done absolutely everything just yet. Yeah, I think I could do 2 more months of like chopping block items. So I know what I want to do. I want to do the one from Westman Atelier. This is a little bit deeper. It's not neutral. It has like a little bit of warmth, but it's not bad, but it has always been a little bit of a deep shade. And this one is in Coupe de Soleil. I don't know how many shades these come in, but anyway, I feel like I want to chopping block that still. And then also this one from Tarte. This is the Park Avenue Princess bronzer, and I don't remember these coming in like a ton of different shades. I mean, maybe it's literally just the one, but it does have like a little bit of warmth to it. It's kind of a sheeny bronzer. Still, I want to test this one and see if it needs to stay. I'm trying to decide like which one next, because I can see a couple that I could put in there. And then finally, the one from Pat McGrath. This one is in the shade Naked Desire. This one also has like a slight bit of warmth to it too once it gets to the cheeks. And I feel like these 3 in rotation for my chopping block would be really good. The next ones, I'm just gonna set like those 2 for sure. Probably those 3, to be honest, that I just moved. All the other ones I'm pretty dang sure about. Maybe this one from Give I could pull in. It's just that I love the cream contour so much more, so I think I do know that I like that. I don't think I need to chopping block that. Honestly, it would just be those 3, because this one is pretty deep. This one I feel like could be a little bit warm, and then this one here from RMS Beauty I feel like is also a little bit deep, even though it's red. So I think those would be the next ones. So let's move on to powders next, because they're at the bottom of this 5 drawers here. I'm going to pull in the Maybelline Fit Me powder for a pressed powder option. This is in the shade 112. I feel like I'm chopping blocking that one. I don't even know how to say that. Am I just putting it in chopping block? Yes. Okay, Carrie. And then the HD Baking and Setting powder from Catrice. I'll also chopping block this. I literally just grabbed these 2 powders because they're ones that I almost never reach for. And I like a lot of these other ones and I have relevant information. This is the new powder from Tower 28 that I've just tested. I definitely see other ones that will go in next month's rotation. I'm so picky about powders, and I've been using the same freaking powder for 8 months, the BD Bakery one. So I don't buy a lot of new powders because I'm so picky. So anyway, I think decluttering this one and moving these 2 options in are good, along with the Beauty Bakery one. I think that's good, not to overwhelm myself. So let's move on to highlighters now. Okay, another interesting angle. So there's nothing in here that I want to put into a chopping block. I've either tested all of these really recently or know that I love them, basically. So it's more about, I think, rotating in and getting use out of some of the ones that haven't gotten use in a while. Let's pull in La Bouche Rouge. This one is in like a cardboard style. It's a little bit deeper of a highlighter than I normally go for, but it's on the subtle side. It's really pretty. It's a nice like luxury brand highlighter, and not a lot of people talk about La Bouche Rouge. They don't have a ton of makeup items, especially like on Credo Beauty or whatever, but I do think that this was actually a very nice highlighter formula from them. So let's pull that one in, and then let's also take Stila Kitten, because I haven't used this in a while, and this is kind of a pinky option. It's just like this putty gel formula that I absolutely love, so pull that one in. And then finally, I think I want to pull the Charlotte Tilbury one in, because I haven't pulled this one in gosh knows how long. It is pretty, and it is the only Charlotte Tilbury highlighter I have left. I have had other highlighters, like the limited edition releases that she's done for holiday, but I've decluttered all of them. I just didn't love them more than I love some of my other highlighters, but I did like this one, so I kept it. So let's pull this one in as well. And now that's really all for the Shop My Stash portion. Let's go ahead and put all this stuff back. Okay, we're obviously focusing on over here. So highlighters. I think that's good, in addition to the Laura Geller one that I have, which makes 4. Let's throw 3 more bronzers in here. And again, that's good, in addition to the other bronzing drops that I have. And then a pressed powder and another loose powder. And that's it. I feel like I'm locked, stocked, and ready to rock for November. I have quite a bit more than I can probably end up getting on my face, so I'm sure you'll see some of this stuff again for the month of December, but I do hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And if you guys are not currently subscribed, I'd love to see you subscribe so you can stick around. I'm out of here for today, you guys. Hope to catch you all in the next video. Bye!